In the ACC, the Virginia Cavaliers, who fell behind early but then won going away, beating State by 20. Florida State needed overtime to beat Virginia Tech and advance to the semis as well. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Charlotte. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. We are very glad to have you with us. Louisville and Carolina split two regular season matchups, each winning on the other's floor. And North Carolina really struggled, maybe the low point of their season, but man, have they been good since.
Low point to a turning point, because their season really turned around from there. North Carolina 14-1 in their last 15. Nobody's playing better in the country, and they're doing it with their offense and with their rebounding. They've got three guys that can get you 30 in any given game. Luke May, Cam Johnson, Kobe White. This team can really play, but you are going to have to deal with them on the glass and keep them out of transition. That's where they're most dangerous.
For more on tonight's matchup of the Tar Heels specifically, let's bring in Allison Williams.
Hey there, Dan. Jay is absolutely right. That home loss to Louisville, the worst in the Roy Williams era for UNC, really was a turning point in this season for Carolina. Cam Johnson told me it forced us to take a look in the mirror and realize what kind of team we wanted to be. Kenny Williams said they took it to us, but after that game, we had to grow up. He said coming into that game, our practices were terrible. We didn't play with any fight. Since then, it has not been an issue. Roy Williams always preaches to get better every day. He said it's been showing on the court the last month and a half, the change in mentality since that loss to Louisville.
Thank you, Allison. As for Louisville, some ups, some downs. All in all, a very good season. Picked preseason to finish 11th in the ACC. They finished tied for 6th. They beat Carolina once this year. What do they have to do well tonight to do it again?
Well, first, they have to run really good offense. Your offense has to help your defense against North Carolina, because you can't let them get out in transition. So Kristen Cunningham's going to be really important, and then Jordan Wara is going to be really important. But the most important thing for Louisville is compete on the glass. Every time a shot goes up, you have to get a body on someone. That's when combat begins. And Dwayne Sutton, one of the best rebounders from the guard position in the ACC, averages 7 rebounds per game. When he gets an offensive rebound, he not only gets a stick back, but Jordan Wara, an excellent cutter. He cuts right across the face of a Notre Dame defender. This time Wara putting the shot up and nobody blocks out. Dwayne Sutton, he gets all the way to the rim. It's going to take a little more than that, I think, for Louisville to get rebounds. But Wara's the guy that's got to play well. He's going to have Kenny Williams on him, one of the best defenders in the country. That's going to be a matchup to watch.
Just a couple of minutes away from tip of the first quarterfinal of the night session. Let's get the thoughts of Reese Davis, Seth Greenberg, and Jay Williams.
All right, Dan, there's already a little buzz growing among some fans as we walked up to our position that we will see Duke and North Carolina in the semifinals tomorrow night. Seth, is that being a bit presumptuous?
As your man Lee Corso would say, not so fast. Duke's going to beat Syracuse without Tyus Battle. I have no doubt about that. This game right here, this is going to be an absolute war. The physicality of Louisville, the ability to Enoch to rebound the ball, and Dwayne Sutton, this is going to be a terrific game. Louisville can give them a run.
With no disrespect to Louisville and Syracuse, as a fan, I want to see Duke Carolina. I want to see Duke Carolina with Duke being at full strength, especially considering that Carolina has dominated Duke the last 2 games when they have not been healthy.
You will be out of control.
I just want to see that matchup. I think the world deserves to see that matchup.
You will not be talking to anyone prior to that game.
Louisville and Syracuse
I'm sure
would beg to differ with that. But first, what we have, North Carolina and Louisville, the rubber match on a neutral floor, Dan.
All right, Reese, thank you. Yeah, rubber match between North Carolina and Louisville. Then we'll have a rubber match between Duke and Syracuse coming up in the second game. How about the job done by Chris Mack in his first year as head coach of the Cardinals after an outstanding 9-year run at Xavier, a team that brought in some transfers, but they have come together. They have played as a unit. They have played with toughness, and they are definitely headed to the NCAA tournament. The North Carolina Tar Heels finished 16-2 in ACC regular season play this year, including a couple of wins over Duke, and as we mentioned, splitting the 2 matchups with Louisville. A great year for the Heels, who, as you said, Jay, they're playing about as well as anybody in the country right now.
And they can really shoot the 3. They can spread the floor. They're not the same type of team they've been in years past with a couple guys inside. They go inside every play. They've got guards that can really shoot it.
And they've had the same starting 5 for every game this year but one. Kobe White missed 1 game with an ankle injury. Otherwise, it's been the same 5 all season long, including the grad transfer, Cam Johnson, who knocks one down.
Cam Johnson, first team All-ACC, has had a spectacular season. and he can not only shoot it from 3, where he's shooting just under 50% on the season, but he can really pull up from the mid-range. War with Kenny Williams on him. That is a great matchup between a great defender and a great offensive player.
Kristen Cunningham shut off by Garrison Brooks, trapped in the corner, but gets out of it and finds Dwayne Sutton.
Boy, what a terrific job to get through that double team, and North Carolina getting the ball quickly up court. And you can see how those big guys run. Garrison Brooks with a rim run. But anytime you get a guy trapped, you've got to stay shoulder to shoulder, and Kristen Cunningham just able to get through the middle of that trap. And once he split it, a terrific cut by Dwayne Sutton, who's one of the great glue guys in the league.
Sutton draws the assignment of Johnson.
And Sutton has had terrific games against North Carolina.
And we've got a foul away from the ball going on Carolina to turn it back over to Louisville. That one will go on Kobe White.
Just a screening foul. Kobe White leaning in and not being set on the screen. Excuse me, it wasn't Kobe White. That looked like it was on Cam Johnson.
You're right, Cam Johnson. They initially announced White, but it is on Cam Johnson. Ted Valentine, Ali Cassell, and Tony Henderson are the officials here tonight for the first of 2 evening session quarterfinals here for the ACC tournament. Guy with the ball for Louisville, Kristen Cunningham, another grad transfer from Samford. Samford's all-time leader in career assists, and he has been a stabilizing force and then some. Just a terrific performer this year at the point for the Cardinals. Quan 4 baseline, the kick. Sutton with 3 on the clock, and they turn it over on a travel.
See, that's one thing that Kenny Williams probably doesn't get enough credit for as a great defender. He closed out so effectively on that play. He really caused the turnover, made it difficult, took away a three-point shot that was there, and forced the drive, forced the turnover.
Garrison Brooks has gone to the bench. He was holding his left elbow after getting knocked down on that last rim run you talked about. Nasir Little with the ball. McDonald's All-American, a freshman, has come in early in this game for the Heels. And Luke May is called for a moving screen.
Didn't see that one.
Let's see if we can see what happened here to Garrison Brooks that has sent him to the bench.
Brooks got tripped right here and knocked down. What he probably trying to handle the ball, went down and hit his elbow because he's trying to corral that ball.
And it has been an early turnover fest here in this game as Louisville gives it right back to Carolina.
It's been nothing but screening fouls.
Yep.
We had 3 screening fouls already. We haven't had even 2 minutes into this ball game.
Little 16-footer doesn't get the bounce, kept alive, but ripped out of there by Malik Williams. So important for Louisville to keep Carolina off the offensive glass.
And that means all 5 guys in black shirts have got to get to the defensive board in order to help out. Guards cannot just watch, they have to rebound.
And the other thing, of course, if you're Louisville, you got to get back. Carolina year after year plays with as much pace as anybody in the country.
Oh, what a move by Kobe White. Didn't get it to go at the end.
Both big guys for Louisville, Williams, who's in the game, and Stephen Enoch, who we'll see extensively. They can both shoot the ball from 3. Nobody's afraid to take a three-pointer for Louisville.
Actually, they're more proficient from the perimeter than they are in the post.
And on cue, Williams knocks it down.
Williams, the better defender of the 2, but they combined for over 18 points and 12 rebounds a game at the center spot, those 2.
And even on a make, look how quickly they get down the floor. Good job, though, by Louisville to get back defensively, and here comes Sutton. He'll pull up and airball a 3, and he knows that was a shot he should not have taken.
Yeah, you want to attack the rim there, I believe, especially when you can rip and go, get the rebound, take it yourself. But boy, what a year Dwayne Sutton's had. In the 2 games against North Carolina, he's been especially good. At North Carolina, he had 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. Then he had 19 points and 8 rebounds in Louisville against the Tar Heels.
Garrison Brooks back in now for Carolina. Louisville beat Carolina by 21 in Chapel Hill in January. And in some ways, as Johnson lays it in some ways that score almost flattered the Heels. I mean, it was a one-sided affair from start to finish in favor of Louisville, but then Carolina avenged that with a 10-point win a few weeks later at the Yum Center.
You know, the game in the Smith Center on January 12, I thought it was a question of want to more than anything. I just didn't think North Carolina came for a fight, which was unusual. And then when they played so poorly in the first half, you figured, okay, well, they'll play harder and better in the second half, and they didn't. And so, you know, Louisville, look, they have to be very pleased with the way they played. They executed, did a good job. But that was one-sided because only one side showed up, in my judgment.
We asked Roy Williams before the game tonight, what'd you say to them after that game? They've won 14 out of 15 since as Jordan Nwora misses a long three. Malik Williams down with the offensive rebound, and he travels. We asked Roy Williams, what'd you say to them after that game? He said, I'd love to tell you I said something profound, but what we did was we showed them the tape of all the times they didn't hustle as much, all the times there wasn't enough attention to detail. We basically just showed them what they did wrong that Louisville did better in that game.
You know, I remember from what you and I talked about during that game was sort of, I'd never seen this from a North Carolina team. Not that they hadn't had lulls in a game or maybe in a half, but that for 40 minutes you couldn't really find anything good from an effort perspective.
Yet here they are 2 months later, maybe in the conversation, well, more than maybe, in the conversation for a possible #1 seed going into the NCAA tournament.
I think right now they have one. Somebody's got to take it away from them. That's the way I look at it. I mean, they played among the toughest schedules in the country, maybe the toughest. They won 16 games in ACC play. They're 14-1 in their last 15. They've beaten Duke twice. I mean,
Yeah.
They beat Gonzaga. I mean, what do we want?
3 top 5 teams in the ACC, and all are still alive. Of course, this is Carolina's debut in this tournament. Duke still to come against Syracuse tonight. Virginia already into the semis as Garrison Brooks ties it up.
How much has Garrison Brooks improved from last year to this year? I mean, he's such an outstanding position defender and really talks. There he comes over to block the shot.
Wow, aggressive attempt at a dunk there by Quan Four, but it bothered just enough at the rim that he couldn't finish it. Our first media timeout. Let's get one more look. He had his eyes on a dunk, and Garrison Brooks prevented it.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by New York Life. We know that life doesn't fit into any one plan, so start a plan that flexes with yours. And lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. Corona Premier. Enjoy the view.
What turned out to be the game-winning shot with less than 2 seconds to go. So Florida State advances into the semi to take on Virginia. A low-scoring, kind of slug-it-out affair between the Seminoles and the Hokies. You know, Florida State, it always seems they fly just below the radar. That's an Elite 8 team from last year. 10 players played today. All 10 scored. They've got length. They've got size. They've got depth. Kobe White's got the basketball, and he's going to lay it in to put the heels back on top.
Tell me that Kenny Williams is not an all-defensive team player in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And all respect to the voters, of which I was one. But there are not 5 better defenders in this league than Kenny Williams. There just aren't.
Well, we just saw on Saturday how hard he made R.J. Barrett work. He drew 3 charges, and Barrett got his points. But Kenny Williams made him work, and he's in the middle of everything.
He just will not let Jordan Nwora get the ball in a scoring area, knocks it away, and is able to turn offense from defense.
Kobe White for 3.
He needs to get something going against Louisville. He has not scored effectively against Louisville this year.
And Johnson, offensive rebound, turns into a 3.
Especially a long offensive rebound. Everybody basically inside the lane, inside the three-point line, and when Cam Johnson can set his feet and step into a 3, it's over.
Stephen Enoch in off the bench, the transfer from UConn with a soft touch on a jump hook.
Big body, athletic, and extremely talented. How easy is that?
Look at this. How quickly do they get down the floor, even after a make?
And just on that, I mean, Louisville -1 on the exchange. They score a bucket in the paint. And Carolina's putting it through the net before anybody can even breathe.
Ryan McMahon in off the bench. Couldn't get the 3 off because of the length of Johnson, but he finds Enoch, who can't get it to go, and here comes Carolina again. And nobody turns and faces the guy with the ball, Kobe White.
It just came up so quickly. And Kobe White is the speed of this team. He arrived in the lane. His hair arrived 2 counts later. He is so good and just getting better. Look at that hair. That is magnificent. What a national treasure.
Allison, Jay and I are very envious of his hair. Where do you stand on it?
I mean, look at that. He rocks it, right? Guys, one thing not rocking right now, though, Louisville's transition defense. Chris Mack has to be livid right now because during the last timeout, he just told his guys, you can never take for granted, even off of a make, that UNC is going to slow down at all. You have to sprint back every single time.
This time it's Louisville getting the ball down the court in a hurry. Nice look from Cunningham into Enoch.
Well, Cunningham read that there was going to be a trap across half court and immediately looked for Enoch under the basket. And there was no goalie. Anytime you have 2 trapping, you're going to have 2 interceptors, and then Nasir Little needed to be the goalie there and protect the goal. Just didn't do that. He needed to come off VJ King and be right in the lane and protect the basket. You take whenever there's a trap, you have 2 other guys that are interceptors, and they take away the most obvious pass. And then you have to have somebody who protects the goal. In that case, it was Nasir Little. He was just late.
Stephen Enoch had one of his best games of the season in the win over the Heels in Chapel Hill. 17 points, 11 rebounds, and again, just the tremendous speed off the bounce by Kobe White.
These other guys are not standing still. They are trying, and Kobe White has just been too fast, too aggressive, and he's having a fabulous hair day in addition.
And Chris Mack will use a timeout and say, can't anybody guard the guy with the fabulous hair? It's a Kobe White timeout right now.
I'm so jealous.
Kobe White really turned it up a notch midway through his freshman season, and he's off to a great start tonight. 3 for 5. 7 points and a couple of assists already for a guy, Jay, who made the ACC All-Freshman team and was second team All-League.
Well, he's coming off a 21-point game against Duke in which he made 4 3-point shots and really was the guy that put the game, I don't want to say out of reach, but he had a flurry of scoring that was just magnificent. Had 0 turnovers in the game, being guarded most of the time by Trey Jones, an excellent defender. So, Kobe White has matured and gotten better and better throughout the course of the season. One of the best point guards in the country.
Jordan Nwora named the most improved player in the ACC with a bucket, and there's Nasir Little. Again, Carolina's transition offense. They're getting down the court too quickly for the Cardinals.
And Chris Mack is really upset because his defense cannot get back, get set where they can make a stand. They're really just watching North Carolina either lay the ball in or get wide open threes in transition.
And for years, every opposing coach has said the same 2 things about Carolina. Keep them off the glass and get back in transition. Easier said than done, of course.
Yeah, that's like saying to Mike Tyson back in the day, don't let him hit you.
Brooks a handoff to Kenny Williams. He'll put it on the floor. Tough one over Enoch. And it's out of bounds off VJ King. It'll belong to the Heels when we come back. 8:05 into the game here in quarterfinal number 3 of 4. And the number 2 seed, the Heels, led by Kobe White, with an 8-point lead on the Bill.
Get back. Keep him off the glass. Don't let Julian Edelman catch it. How did he get open?
Now for tonight's Need to Know, brought to you by Principal. And a look at some ACC bracketology. According to our man, Joey Brackets, he's got Virginia, Carolina as a 1, Duke as a 2. We'll see how that sorts itself out over the next few days. NC State beat Clemson yesterday. Right now, Joey Brackets has State just in, Clemson just out. And we'll see how that plays out over the next couple of days. Of course, the heartbreaking thing, Jay, for Tigers fans is they lost not once but twice in heartbreaking fashion to NC State this year.
Well, they've lost a bunch of games in late game situations. I mean, if for 39 minutes and 30 seconds in a lot of games, they played well enough to win.
VJ King will be at the free throw line. So you can say with certainty the ACC is going to get at least 7. Will they get an 8th? Will they get a 9th? In your opinion, are the Wolfpack an NCAA tournament team?
Yeah, I think they'll get in. I think Clemson's going to be on the outside looking in at the end of this just because they played so many quality games. They just didn't win enough of them. And I think it's going to be awfully hard for the committee to take so many, and look, this isn't Clemson's fault, but to take so many teams that had middling records in bigger conferences. Right. And look, they are not going to leave Belmont out for a team like Clemson, in my opinion. I just don't think they're going to do that.
So if you had a choice, you're in the room, it's down to the last at large. You've got Clemson and you've got Belmont. Who are you taking?
Well, it wouldn't be down to it now. Belmont would already be in for me. But you know, like, we keep getting these updates from Greg Shaheen, who does an amazing job giving us information about how the committee works and what they're actually doing as opposed to what they may do. And it's amazing to me that they're still kind of watching games, evaluating things. That should be already done. There's nothing. What are you going to watch Louisville play and say, oh, I'm not crazy about their ball screen defense? You know, that doesn't make any sense.
Brandon Robinson, the junior from Douglasville, Georgia, in off the bench, and he knocks down the threes. Had a very good year shooting the three. And Carolina, this may be Roy Williams' best three-point shooting team since he's come back to Chapel Hill.
Yeah, I think it is. But it needs to be a better defensive team right now, because as well as North Carolina scored the ball on the offensive end, they are giving up a lot of easy baskets. They've turned over Louisville, but when they haven't turned them over, it has been easy for Louisville to score.
Harrison Brooks gets inside position on Malik Williams and extends the lead to 10. Williams again more comfortable on the perimeter. A little turnaround is a bit strong, and Nasir Little down with a rebound.
Everybody stood around and watched Malik Williams go to work, and he wound up taking a fadeaway jumper where he's unlikely to get fouled.
Darius Perry has come in for Louisville. He's guarding Kobe White, who did that last time down the floor, and he slowed him down to a certain extent. Nice look from King, and the three is there for Sutton.
You can't really come off Dwayne Sutton there, because you're not really. Nasir Little wasn't going to stop that drive. He got caught in no man's land. And you can't come that far off a weak side shooter. You've got to recover quicker than that.
Kenny Williams gets around the hedge. Too strong on the three. Rebound Robinson. Wide open look for White.
And Louisville almost got burned again on an offensive rebound.
Look at this pass. And again, who is it? Kenny Williams getting back to knock it out of bounds.
When VJ King makes a drive inside, at times you can overhelp. And it's only a two that can hurt you here, and that was overhelp. He wind up leaving Dwayne Sutton wide open for that three. Brandon Robinson was already there to make it a tough two. They didn't need to triple team in the lane and then leave essentially a wide open shooter at the line. You got to guard that line.
McManus, that's his specialty, of course, knocking down the three. And now again, Carolina in transition. Andrew Platek into the game, and he'll pick up an assist on a baseline jumper from Luke May.
Luke May again running the court extremely well. Got to make him put it on the deck.
McMahon misses another three, and a good rebound in traffic by Little.
If McMahon catches it and shoots it right away from the spot he caught it, it's a defensive mistake.
May unguarded down low as again Louisville can't get set defensively before the heels get down the floor.
In most games, you're not going to get this many fast break points in an entire game, let alone the first half of the first half.
How about 32 points in 11 minutes right now for North Carolina?
It's been a layup drill for North Carolina. And the quality of their shots is phenomenal.
Laura driving by Robinson. Help from Little, and he knocks it away. Seventh Woods will be at the free throw line.
Good pass by Platek and a really good drive.
Well, tonight, after our two quarterfinals here, it's the quarterfinal round of the Pac-12 tournament presented by New York Life, continuing out in Las Vegas. So the game that we'll have for you, 11:30 Eastern Time, Utah and Oregon, as each of them tries to advance to the semifinals. Size up where Washington, Arizona State, where's that league right now in your mind?
I'll tell you what, Washington will not feel comfortable if they don't win. You know, they need to at least get to the final to feel comfortable. They're already in the NCAA tournament field. I think they are. I think Washington's going to make it, but their resume is wanting simply because the Pac-12 has been so bad. And I'll give you a team that I think could be really dangerous in this tournament, in the Pac-12 tournament. That's Colorado. They're the 5th seed. And they have not had a ton of great moments in the non-conference, but you know, Tyler Bay is an excellent player, great defensive player, and all-conference player, and McKinley Wright's an outstanding guard that's like a running back out there. And Tad Boyle's team's got a real chance.
Feels as wide open as any major conference tournament, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's wide open because nobody's been good during the year except for Washington and at times Arizona State.
Woods, little shot put, and how did that not go down?
feels like Louisville's been in scramble mode the whole game. And they've done some good things on offense aside from the turnovers, but they haven't been able to get back. And Carolina's getting point-blank shots. Good rebound by Kenny Williams.
And here they come again. Woods, left hand, won't go. Definitely a Carolina pace for the first 12 minutes of this game, and we get a foul call on the heels. Carolina leading Louisville by 13, with these two programs looking to advance onto the semifinal. Got a long way to go, but boy, Roy Williams has to like the offense he's getting right now from his heels. Many great programs in the ACC, and we'll see two more of them in the last quarterfinal game of the night session. Syracuse and Duke. Zion Williamson back. Tyus Battle will not play. Duke and Carolina both have exactly 100 wins in ACC tournament history, because of course they do. Can't we all get along? Carolina on the left, Duke on the right, Duke on the left, Carolina on the right. Duke with 20 championships, Carolina with 18. And the talk all day, of course, has been after the announcement was made by Duke this morning that Zion Williamson is indeed back and will play. Sean McDonough reporting earlier today during the day session that Jim Boeheim told him that Tyus Battle is definitely out again. That bruised back or bruised tailbone will keep Syracuse's leading scorer out of this game tonight.
And with all the hype about Zion Williamson's return, seems the media has ignored that Leaky Black is available for North Carolina in this game.
We should have led with that. Jordan Wara off the Carolina turnover.
It is nice to see him back.
Yes, it is.
Because he's a good player.
Yes, he is. He's a good, versatile defender, and he's missed about 12 games with an ankle injury, and is potentially available tonight for Carolina and going forward, which is nice for them. There's Leaky Black.
Long arm, good defender.
And the second best hair on the team.
Could be a distant second, given how good that hair right there is.
12-point lead for the Heels.
And it has been a comfortable offensive evening for North Carolina because it has mostly come in transition. Getting the ball down court quickly, whether it's after a make or a miss, a turnover, whatever. Carolina has been difficult to stop in the open floor. And Louisville's not been able to get back. They've not stopped the ball, and they've given up a lot of easy shots.
Off balance three, and it goes for Jordan Wara.
Wara's averaging almost 18 points per game. The ACC's most improved player on the season. And improved rebounding as well. Averaged almost 8 rebounds a game.
Up almost 12 points per game from his scoring output last year. Let's go to Allison Williams.
Well, Dan, Jay mentioned the easy shots for North Carolina, and that's what Louisville was talking about in the last time out. And it was the players calling each other out, saying we're letting it be way too easy for Carolina. While Chris Mack emphasizing winning that 4-minute war. He's got them scored at 0, 2, and 1 for each 4-minute period so far. He said don't worry about the entirety of the game. Focus on these 4 minutes.
Well, so far it's been a very good 4 minutes here for Louisville. A 3 by Wara. And then a 3 by Perry. And now Carolina with an offensive foul. And all of a sudden it's a 6-point game. Roy Williams not happy right now. Louisville is 5 for 10 from 3-point range.
Another screening foul on North Carolina. That's like the 4th or 5th of the game on both teams.
Only player with 2 fouls so far is Kristen Cunningham, the starting point guard for Louisville, who went to the bench a couple of minutes ago as Jordan Wara scores again.
Beautiful cut by Wara from the top. They're able to isolate him and get him cutting to the bucket. And he's got such good size, able to shoot over.
Good matchup here, May and Wara. Good job by Wara. And now Johnson with a huge height advantage on Ryan McMahon, but he can't take advantage.
Louisville starting to fight back defensively.
Nice look. Perry to Sutton. And Perry was running back over half court, extending out his arms, feeling, if not knowing, that that shot was going to go down.
Well, Louisville starting to make a stand. And Ryan McMahon going to pick up a foul, trying to keep Kenny Williams from making his cut.
Another 3 for the Cardinals. Their 6th already.
After this pass by Perry, watch Perry. He knew it right. He's not
awesome.
even looking.
That's awesome. That is confidence in your teammate right there.
After he hit his. Louisville's got a very good feeling right now.
Kobe White will try to slow Louisville's roll just a little bit.
He had every answer in the game Saturday night against Duke. I'm not sure that was the shot, but Dwayne Sutton just quicker to the ball.
Around and out, rebound to Luke May. Speaking of quick with the ball, Kobe White. May for three. And Carolina, the last several minutes, not really doing much damage on the offensive glass.
Well, the shot was quick. Looked like Garrison Brooks was going to get inside position because he was being fronted after the rim run. But, North Carolina's not opposed to taking quick shots. They want as many possessions in a game as they can get.
Perry short on the three. They're getting some minutes at the point again with Cunningham on the bench with 2 fouls. A stop and go by Williams. Off to May. Muscles it up but doesn't get the roll.
Good pass.
McMahon stepping into it. Misses again. And the follow no good by Wara.
McMahon doesn't miss those very often. But a great find of the best standstill shooter on the floor for Louisville. As Perry found him, and he just missed it. Moore almost with the follow.
McMahon 37% from beyond the arc this year, 0 for 4 tonight, and Wara and McMahon both frustrated that they couldn't convert. And a good teammate work there by Darius Perry to try to keep McMahon's spirits up.
Well, McMahon has made 52 threes on the year out of 66 field goals made. So if you can make him into a 2-point shooter, make him finish inside that line, that's the best you can do.
Little. Rebound V.J. King, the former McDonald's All-American who's had kind of a tough year, but recently, not so much with scoring, but with hustle plays, rebounding, has been a contributor. Missed three by Sutton.
Carolina has missed some point-blank shots.
Turnaround, Cam Johnson. How many different ways can he hurt you?
Yeah, he doesn't miss. Point-blank wherever. Having another great game and another terrific find by Kobe White.
Cam Johnson, first team All ACC in his second and final year in a Carolina uniform. King trying to drive, spins by Little, hangs, no good.
Well, good defense by Luke May to challenge that off the spin.
And it's an offensive foul on Little.
It's also a flop.
And the Carolina bench can't believe it.
Well, that is not a good call.
Number 2 on Little. Carolina leading by 6. The Cardinals, though, playing with a lot of spirit and energy, making a bit of a comeback lately. Darius Perry saying, my man Dwayne Sutton's knocking this one down.
Picture of the night.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. We can help you plan for that. And Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the proven sports fuel.
Louisville starting to make a stand on the defensive end. They are down 6 to North Carolina. This last play, just wanted to show it to you because that little spin. Look, was Darius Perry there in legal guarding position? Yes. But you have to be knocked to the floor. He wasn't knocked down. He just fell down. I mean, that's a flop, and the referees rewarded it, which is going to beget more flops.
Second foul on Little. He stays in the game. Carolina leading by 6. 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Duke and Syracuse still to come in our second nighttime quarterfinal here in Charlotte.
Well, Jordan Wara was just wide open on a cut to the basket, and they missed him.
And then his shoe fell off. He just put it back on. And meanwhile, a bucket for V.J. King.
Nice job by Louisville of spreading the floor. They got in a little horn set with 2 guys at the elbows, 2 guys in the corner, and just did a nice job of spreading out the North Carolina defense and then cutting off. A little bit of screening action up top. Boy, Luke May's got to get the ball.
Got a size advantage on Perry. Shot goes up. Rebound Williams. Let's check in with another Williams, in this case Allison.
Hey there, Dan. We know that Roy Williams likes to push the pace, but right now Carolina has to still make sure they're getting smart shots. Their offense is hurting their defense. They feel like they're taking quick shots, bad shots, and that's led to runouts for Louisville and has allowed them to make this push.
Yeah, I think right now if you're Chris Mack, You're pleased to be back within 4, and if you're Roy Williams, you're wondering where that double-digit lead went.
Well, Carolina's been taking bad shots. Jordan Wara just took the worst shot of the game. I mean, that was like a shot you take when the shot clock was expiring. That was a horrible shot.
White with a step-back 3. Johnson lays it in. Cam Johnson already with 14 points.
It's almost like clockwork. Take a bad shot on one end, you give up a layup on the other. Chris Mack's going to be upset because that rebound hit the floor before Cam Johnson picked it up and laid it in.
Williams on Wara, and Wara throws it away.
Boy, 2 really bad plays by Jordan Wara. First, the bad shot, which is going to go down as a shot, but should be a turnover. Then another turnover.
The switch, and now VJ King on Kobe White. Johnson dumps it down to May. Jump hook, yes.
Now the ball starting to go inside a little bit, and as Allison Williams mentioned, North Carolina looking to take a better cut of shot than they've taken probably in that 6-minute period where Louisville's able to fight back and get back in the game.
Luke May nearing the end of a great 4-year career in Chapel Hill. Second team All-ACC this year after being an All-American last year. Coming up on the Audi halftime report. More Reese Davis, more Seth Greenberg, more Jay Williams as they look at FSU and how they survived against Virginia Tech at a quarterfinal early today. And key bubble matchups from the Big Ten and the Big 12 may affect your favorite program's chances come Selection Sunday.
It was crowded up on the set as each of our 3 fabulous on-air talents had their personal valets there to make sure they looked perfect. And Reese Davis also had his hairdresser. Not one needed for Jay Williams or Seth Greenberg or me or you.
Us, yeah. Really, Reese is the guy who stands out in an odd way in this group.
Yeah, he must really feel bad about that.
Shot clock turned off.
Carolina wants to get the last shot with probably 3 seconds remaining, so they have enough time to get an offensive rebound.
Kobe White splits a double and draws a foul.
He is so good with the ball and has improved so much. He was always a good handler, but he's changing speeds now. Didn't just blast off that, was able to split the 2 defenders coming off the ball screen. Uses the left hand, and VJ King just came right across his arm. He wasn't able to finish it. What a player Kobe White is, and he keeps getting better.
Very solid first half. That's his 11th point. He's got 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and as you can see, the graphics people are way ahead of me on this one. No turnovers in a very good first half for the freshman.
So that's what, 60 straight minutes now without a turnover?
Yeah.
Didn't have one against Duke and Chapel Hill. And second team All-ACC as a freshman on the all-freshman team. Just a fabulous opening year for Kobe White in a Tar Heel uniform.
Louisville got it down to about 4. It's back at 10 now. Cunningham back into the game. Can McMahon get a shot off?
Really well defended by North Carolina.
And no basket. The tip coming after the horn sounded.
They read that. That was a scouting report play because McMahon coming back off a screen after he led the handoff. He handed it off to Cunningham and then came right back off a little screen. And Carolina read it beautifully.
10-point lead for Carolina. Allison is with Louisville head coach Chris Mack.
Coach Mack, I know transition defense is such a big point of emphasis when you're playing Carolina.
Look like it.
Yeah, how do you improve in that?
They're just so fast. We actually tried to make an adjustment there halfway through the half of only sending two guys to the glass instead of 3. But give them credit. It's a track meet right now. We got to get in the half court. They're as fast as any team we play. We knew that, but it's one thing to know it. You got to do a better job in the second half.
What are some other things you can do to maybe control the pace, and how comfortable are your guys going up and down like Carolina likes?
I don't mind going defense to offense quickly. It's again being able to get numbers ahead of the ball. Kobe White's doing a great job, not only pushing it but advancing it. We've got to get matched up better. We've got to do that a lot quicker.
Chris, thank you.
So some concerns for Chris Mack. Carolina ends the half on an 11-2 run, and they've got a 10-point lead here at halftime in Charlotte. Time now for the halftime report once again to Reese, Seth, and Jay. A principal in the 2019 New York Life ACC tournament. North Carolina dominating inside. 22 points in the paint in the first half. Carolina can do that to you. Luke May part of the problem for Louisville on the inside. And Cam Johnson, well, he can score outside, he can score inside. 6 for 8 and a game-high 14 points for the fifth-year senior to lead the way as the Heels have a 10-point lead on Louisville heading to the second half. Louisville got it down to 1, then Carolina closed the first half on an 11-2 run, so they're at 45-35 as we go to the second half. Welcome back to Charlotte. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. Let's take a look now at our versatile performance brought to you by Dove as you take us back to a play in the first half.
Well, it was a pick and roll play, and Louisville has had some success in pick and roll. It's a middle pick and roll, and then the screener is going to immediately, and this is Malik Williams, going to immediately roll to the basket. When he rolls, Luke May's got to pick him up and come off of Dwayne Sutton to do that. Kristen Cunningham sees it, immediately throws back for the quick three. 11 points in the first half for Dwayne Sutton. He was 3 of 6 from three-point range, but Louisville shot 18 threes out of their 33 field goal attempts. I think Louisville's got to touch the paint more often because they are getting beaten in the paint. 22 points in the paint for North Carolina, only 10 for Louisville.
Moments ago, Allison Williams with Carolina head coach Roy Williams.
Coach Williams, you told us in the 2 regular season meetings with Louisville the difference was in 1, they followed the scouting report, and 1, they didn't. How'd they do in the first half?
Except for sprinting back and getting picked up. Louisville's got a much faster pace now than they did 3 or 4 weeks ago. And we didn't get picked up very well as they were pushing the ball at us. They scored 10 fast break points. We got to do a better job there.
Roy, thank you very much.
Thanks, Al.
And of immediate concern right now to Roy Williams is that Kenny Williams, his senior guard, is injured and down on the court. Let's get a look at a replay.
He was going after a loose ball and got hit, and it looks like his shoulder, that right shoulder. Watch as he goes down here, goes after the ball and runs right into Quan 4, and you hope he's going to be okay. And that was a hard collision, and the way he was exposed there, you worry a little bit about that right shoulder. But he is as tough as they come. That was a hard shot he took.
And for the moment, he will walk to the end of the bench to get a little more medical attention, and Brandon Robinson comes in off the bench. So they lose arguably their best defender in Kenny Williams, and now Robinson is the guy checking Jordan Wara.
Who's arguing that he's not?
It's an excellent point you just made there.
That was like what I said the other day. He's improved immeasurably in his rebounding. Well, you can measure rebounding improvement by how many rebounds you grab.
There's a foul on Garrison Brooks. And if Garrison Brooks were listening, he would say, well, I did win 9 Defensive Player of the Game awards this year, but I think even Brooks would concede that Kenny Williams is a terrific defender and somehow was not on the 5-man ACC All-Defensive team.
That was beyond an oversight. That was a huge mistake.
Quan 4, transfer from Richmond, has not really been a scoring weapon for Louisville this year, but a good, strong defender. Now he'll pull up for the 3, in and out, and Kobe White down with his 5th rebound of the night.
It was a good shot by Quan 4, but another 3 for Louisville.
May just forcing the issue, and he draws the foul. Louisville has now missed its last 9 3-point attempts.
They're just not getting a piece of the paint on many of their possessions.
And Kenny Williams is going to check back in. Good news for Carolina. At the line, Luke May, who for the 2nd year in a row, and he just received this award before the game, is the Skip Prosser Award winner as the crowd reacts to Williams coming back in. That goes to the top scholar athlete in ACC men's basketball. 4-time academic All-ACC, and for the last 2 years, the winner of the highest academic award that there is in ACC men's basketball.
Yeah, but I hear he's a messy roommate at times. That's the only thing he does wrong.
Well, other than arguably you, none of us is perfect. So, again, who's arguing that point?
Bingo. Glad you said it before I could.
I've worked with you long enough. Malik Williams posting on Brooks, left hand, and it goes.
Malik Williams has improved his interior game. Last year, he just wanted to shoot threes. But really, the start of this year, good pass inside.
Brooks kicks it right back out and gets it back.
Yeah, he needs to go right into a move.
Which he does. Spins around Williams.
An excellent drop step. I think he could have had that the first time he got the ball, but reposted. And just a quick drop step to the baseline side for an easy bucket.
See if Louisville can get Jordan Wara going, their leading scorer, 3 for 7, 7 points. Instead, it's a pull-up from Cunningham, but let's keep in mind that he didn't play all that much in the first half. Missed the last several minutes because of foul trouble.
And Cunningham has had a great grad transfer year for Louisville.
May, not this time. And Williams rubbing the back of his head. Looks like he might have taken a shot, kind of grimacing and shaking his head as he runs down the court. Wide open is Cunningham. A break there for Carolina. Somebody missed an assignment.
Sutton the only one on the offensive glass as Louisville trying to get back.
And Johnson kicks it back out to Williams. Still plenty of time. White spinning off balance, forces up a prayer, and the prayer is answered.
Boy, what a spin move off of Jordan Wara. That's just beautiful. And a great individual play. Just spun off the contact, went right into Malik Williams, and still able to get that to go down. Now Williams brought his arms down. That meant the contact is going to be a foul. If he'd just gone straight up, he might have been able to take that contact and not draw that foul.
15 points for White. 13-point lead for Carolina.
Whether it's by the dribble or the pass, North Carolina is getting into the paint. And Louisville, for the most part, is not. On a couple of occasions they have, but most occasions they haven't.
Kobe White with more points already tonight than he had in the 2 regular season games against Louisville combined. The foul, by the way, on Williams, his third. He's gone to the bench. Stephen Enoch is back in for the Cardinals as Kenny Williams was just called for his second foul.
Kobe White's a different player than he was when these two teams first played in January. Louisville's been able to shut him off a couple times, but they're not going to be able to do it 3. Nice screen for the screener action.
For the kick, Sutton the 3, got it.
Boy, again, Nasir Little coming off a 3-point shooter on the weak side, just over helping. You got to move as the ball moves, and once the drive has been picked up, you're only giving up a contested 2 in there.
Kenny Williams, Enoch the rebound, and Louisville can get it back into single digits.
Well, Kenny Williams hasn't been able to find the range on his jump shot. He shot the ball so well against Duke. What a move by Cunningham.
A sweet reverse to make it an 8-point game and to get the Louisville bench up on its feet.
Cunningham had 20 points against Kentucky, and then he had 15 points and 9 assists against North Carolina. Just had a great year. How is that not a foul? Dwayne Sutton ran over Kenny Williams trying to get through that elevator screen. They've been calling all these screening fouls, and then defensive player runs over his screener. That was an interesting way to call a possession.
Don't forget to check out our alternate angle of tonight's game, the New York Life Above the Rim Cam, streaming live on the ESPN app.
So Louisville doing a really good job of bumping cutters and being really physical on cuts.
Carolina sharing the ball, one of the top assist teams in the country, better than 19 assists per game this year. Little, not his specialty, but he'll knock down a 3. Just 27% on the season.
Well, he's such a talented player. McDonald's All-American that's been coming off the bench, and most of the playing time issues he's had has been a result of defense, not offense. He's still trying to figure out all the things you have to learn as a defender in the North Carolina system.
Boy, if all these guys walk into a gym, the first guy you might notice is Enoch. I mean, he is huge. He is smooth. He looks like a pro. He's got such skill. Luke May's got some skill himself.
Boy, having to help off on Kobe White, little basically pick and pop. And Luke May able to get that shot up quickly.
Enoch is fouled. I think it's going to go on Little, and it will, to take us to our first media timeout of the second half. Carolina up a dozen.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. We can help you plan for that.
He's back. Zion Williamson will play tonight. Just named the ACC Rookie of the Year and the ACC Player of the Year. Has missed basically the last 6 games. Just played the first 36 seconds of the game against Carolina, but for all intents and purposes has missed the last 6. Duke went 3-3 in those games. He's back tonight. We'll see what the stamina and the conditioning are like as Duke takes on Syracuse, which it appears will be without Tyus Battle, the Orange's leading scorer. They got a big game from, among others, Buddy Boeheim, the coach's son, had a season-high 20 last night in a Syracuse victory over Pitt.
Well, Buddy Boeheim has shot 40% from three-point range in ACC games and is really playing with a ton of confidence. Good help by Nasir Little to get back out.
What a bounce for Darius Perry.
And another three-point shot for Louisville, but that time that came off the drive and occupied 2 defenders, and it was a kick-out.
The Cardinals admitted that after their loss to Duke during the regular season, remember they had that huge lead, 23 points, 9.5 to go, and they let it slip away, lost to Duke by 2, that it took them a while to kind of get their emotional footing underneath them again as Perry takes another quick 3. Enoch is going to be called for the foul, but late in the year, last regular season game, Louisville took Virginia down to the wire in Charlottesville and picked up a win over Notre Dame last night in the second round of the ACC tournament. And Chris Mack feels like their practices have been good and their confidence is better now.
Yeah, it's gonna affect you when you lose a game like Louisville lost to Duke when they had the game won. And look, you give Duke credit for an amazing comeback, but for every amazing comeback like that, there's also a gigantic collapse. And Louisville, from the Louisville perspective, that was a collapse.
Let's visit with Allison again.
Chris Mack talking a lot of defense with his team during the last timeout, telling them just to hang in there, that UNC has made some tough shots, but that their defense has been better. He just wants to make sure they don't give them anything in transition and nothing on the boards.
And that's again the theme we've talked about for years and years with Carolina, the glass and transition. And Roy Williams, those are the 2 of the pillars of what he coaches at Carolina.
Well, I agree with Allison that Louisville's defense has been better, but their offense has been a lot better because they're starting to get a piece of the paint. They've shot a really good percentage because of the way they are attacking. The quality of shot has been much better. They are forcing help and recover situations from North Carolina. And their better offense, I think, has been a big help to their defense.
And they're hanging around right now. Carolina's gotten it out to 12-13. Louisville's got it back down to 8. Johnson the drive. Pull up over Cunningham. Tough shot. And it belongs to the Cardinals.
I think Cam Johnson probably should have continued that drive because he had such a size advantage over Kristen Cunningham. Kind of bailed him out by taking that shot.
Great look for Wara. And now over the back, another foul call on Enoch.
Well, Enoch is probably arguing that Garrison Brooks didn't block him out. He just grabbed him. Like the blockout was face to face instead of turning around and blocking out, sort of the traditional blockout. Now watch, look, he's got his arms all over him. And I think Stephen Enoch saying, well, wait a minute, man, I didn't foul him. He fouled me. What are you guys looking at? And the truth is they just missed this. And that was just a bad call.
Number 3 on Enoch. He goes to the bench. And Malik Williams, who has 3, comes back in. So fortunately for Louisville, they've got 2 productive big men that can rotate in and out.
Garrison Brooks got one-on-one in the post. Even though there's a good pass out, he needs to take that shot.
What a great offensive rebound by Little.
That's the next step for Garrison Brooks in his maturation. He's got to start scoring when he gets the ball down low, because that needs to be a bucket, a foul, or both.
Cunningham, nice look to Sutton. Can't get the shot off. And is it off his leg? The Carolina guys are saying it should be their ball, but the call will give it to Louisville.
I'm not sure the baseline official even saw it. The trail official had to make the call. Not sure really anybody saw that one.
Like it might have gone off of Sutton, but Louisville's got it. Down by 8. Again, hanging around here with the favor to Carolina in this quarterfinal matchup. Cunningham almost lost it. Sutton's got himself a 3.
Boy, what a rebound.
Little can do that. He can jump over just about anybody in the gym. Johnson, no. Little flying in for the rebound, out of bounds to the Cardinals.
There's an awful lot of contact on Cam Johnson's drives. He's got an elbow in his ribs every time he drives. And I cannot for the life of me figure out what is being watched out there. Like, you can't keep a hand on a driver like that. There's an elbow right in his ribs as he's going by. Now you can say, okay, incidental contact's going on all game long.
What a feed into Williams. It's a 6-point game.
That's that roll replace action, and nobody picked up Malik Williams. Worried too much about McMahon, the shooter. A low cross, good switch by Louisville to stop that cross screen.
Brooks double team down low, still gets it to go, and a chance for a 3-point play.
Where there was a little low cross screen between May and Brooks. Louisville switched it. That put Dwayne Sutton on Garrison Brooks, and Carolina took advantage of it. Talking about Brooks being stronger going to the bucket, and he was right here. And one opportunity.
You know what time it is, Jay?
Cheez-It time.
It's crunch time, brought to you by Cheez-It. Our first semifinal tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern time here on ESPN. The number 4 seed, Florida State. The number 1 seed, Virginia, which beat NC State by 20 today. Great defensive team, as always. You know that about the Hoos. Florida State deep, long, athletic. Kyle Guy, 7 threes, 29 for Virginia today. And how about Jack Salt? The ultimate role player, one of the best screeners, big body inside, had not scored a point in his last 6 games and went off for a career-high 18 today in their win.
Remember earlier this year in a game at Maryland, he had 12 and did such a great job of making himself available. Offensive rebounds. There's the trap. Good job throwing out of it. Cunningham does a great job handling those traps.
Laura with a bucket. His first point since there were 6 minutes left in the first half.
I'm not sure I get that one.
Oh, no basket.
They have to call it off. They call offensive foul.
Yep.
Wow.
So no bucket and an offensive foul on Wara. A big call, needless to say. Jack Salt and Kyle Guy also part of one of the best, if not the best, 94 feet of the season.
I will always remember Jack Salt for his American accent. I would like to buy a cheeseburger.
Kyle Guy did a New Zealand accent, and then Jack Salt returned the favor with an American accent. They're funny guys. I mean, you know, we get to see a lot of teams during the year. You can see the Virginia guys, they like each other.
They really do, and they are very loose.
Yes.
I mean, they obviously take their job very seriously, but they have fun. And, you know, they're smart guys. They play hard, play together. But I agree with you. They really enjoy one another. And they've got great senses of humor. I mean, they needle each other all the time in a good-natured way. It's really fun to watch.
How about another foul on Wara? All of a sudden, he's got 3.
And North Carolina has not shot the ball well in this second half, under 40%. And they've not really gotten a lot of paint touches. It's only 28 points in the paint total. They had 22 in the first half.
King fumbling the pass, now has it. Still lots of time. And a foul before the shot is going to go against Carolina. It'll be on Luke May.
So that's the elbow in the ribs thing.
That's number 3 on May. And another foul.
There's 2 hands on the ball handler, which I'm sure Brad Brownell would have liked to see last night against NC State. It's an automatic call.
It's going to be a tough few days for fans of the Tigers to find out if there's some way they can sneak in as an at-large.
It's not going to happen.
King driving, got May in the air, and will knock it down.
A poised play by VJ King. Yeah, he has not shot the ball well all season long. Really had some confidence issues, but he's really done a good job taking the ball to the basket, as Luke May did just there. Boy, poor defense by Louisville in transition after a bucket. In North Carolina, they're big guys. There's a rim runner. There's always a trailer. They do such a good job in their secondary break. They just keep coming at you.
You know, and you think May's got, I don't know, 8 or 10 points. He's got 17 in this game now.
And how about the way he has been rebounding toward the end of the season? He's always been an outstanding rebounder, averaged a double-double the last 2 seasons. But last 2 games, 36 rebounds.
Ryan McMahon just got picked off on a screen. And that's going to be on Garrison Brooks, I believe. And if it is, it'll be number 4 on him. Let's see who it was on.
Garrison Brooks, the screen, now the rescreen.
Yeah, right there. Number 4 on Brooks.
Really, if you're a defender, the smart thing to do if you get picked off on a screen is just go down, because it'll likely be called.
Enoch double teamed and muscles it up and in. And gets it down to a 9-point deficit.
Well, Kenny Williams almost took that ball away. Good strength by Stephen Enoch to keep a hold of the ball and finish it.
Brandon Robinson buries a 3.
Well, he set the screen, then he was ready to shoot it. And he has shot the ball so well the second half of this season. Over 43% from 3. I think that's his 19th or 20th 3.
And 2 for 2 tonight. Enoch will return the favor at the other end, and a timeout called by Chris Mack.
Well, Enoch and Malik Williams, one of the better shooting big men tandems in the ACC, maybe the best. Stephen Enoch certainly looks the part, and he's got the perimeter shooting game to match his inside strength.
If we're on the wrong defense, that's on me. But if you're not playing hard, that's on you. He said, we don't win this game by outscoring them. We have to get stops.
And a different looking group on the floor right now. Allison, thank you. Seven the Woods has come in. He's in there with the backcourt with Brandon Robinson and Sterling Manley with the ball into the game for the first time. A guy who has played very sparingly over the last couple of months due to a sore left knee. Has only played 3 minutes total since coming back from that injury about 10 days ago.
Yeah, he missed, what, 16 games?
Yeah.
And I'd test his mobility out. Get the ball to Enoch and let him go to work on Manley. See, I'd get it inside. Give it to him.
Good close out there by Kenny Williams, forcing Ryan McMahon into a tough runner. And what an effort by VJ King on the glass.
Right over the top of Brandon Robinson.
Trying to get the shot off, and he does. What a sequence for King.
The only mistake that Brandon Robinson made right there is he probably would have been better when he got that elbow in the chest. Just go down. You go down, they'll call a charge every time.
Good hedge there by Enoch. Johnson into Manley.
Just really good execution on the secondary break by North Carolina.
And again, it's a 9-point game, less than 8 minutes to go.
Overload on one side. And now the slip. Good call by Chris Mack. Just to see if Sterling Manley can keep up with Enoch. Almost got a layup.
7:50 to go. Carolina's led almost the entire way. They're up by 9 with Duke and Syracuse on deck.
North Carolina with a 9-point lead over Louisville, but the Cardinals getting a piece of the paint in the second half, drawing 4 defenders. Quan 4 on his drive, kicks it out for a wide open shot, and then this roll replace action has been very difficult for North Carolina. They've not guarded it very well. Caught up on a switch, and then Malik Williams getting the easy bucket, because North Carolina didn't communicate very well on picking up the roll man and also the replace man up. In that situation, Ryan McMahon, who has yet to hit a 3, but Garrison Brooks trying to switch. Not sure with Brandon Robinson, not good communication. That's what Allison Williams told us out of that last huddle, that Roy Williams was upset. The defensive execution by the Tar Heels, that's an example of it.
And now Roy Williams starting to get some of the starters back in there for the stretch drive. He's just brought Kobe White back in. Mays in there as well. Williams and Johnson, Brandon Robinson, the only bench player, with Garrison Brooks on the bench right now for Carolina. So Luke May playing the 5. And on a switch, he finds himself on Cunningham, who goes right at him. Good help by Robinson.
Right, good pass ahead by Robinson.
Williams, it's a block.
Right, That's what North Carolina does. Robinson with the steal, very alert, taking it away from Cunningham, and then immediately looking up court to the sprinting Kenny Williams. Just knocks it away, and then instead of just looking for an outlet, he's looking to throw it ahead. And Carolina looking to turn defense into offense in a hurry.
Brandon Robinson's only played 6 minutes in this game. He's made 2 threes, has 2 rebounds, and an assist.
Maybe he should play more. Arguably.
I don't think that word means what you think it means. Maybe we can have Allison to the next time out go tell Roy that Jay is being critical of the Hall of Fame coach.
Not critical.
Just offering up suggestions.
I think I'll pass.
All right.
Thanks.
It's a good career move, Allison. Back into double digits, up by 11. Perry. Ball's loose and it belongs to the heels. May, another nice look ahead. Robinson to Williams for 2 more.
And how pretty is that? The outlet, full speed, and then the beautiful pass off the bounce by Robinson to Williams. And that's just gorgeous.
May takes it away ahead to White. And what a job by Perry coming back to steal it and staying in bounds.
Walk the tightrope.
Keeps the dribble alive. May a block. Williams. And May with the easy putback to give Carolina its largest lead of the night.
Boy, a terrific block by Luke May. Remember the big block he had at the end of the game against Duke in the Smith Center. Boy, Carolina moving out the lead. And that could be not a knockout blow, but a significant blow to Louisville's chances in this game. An offensive rebound, stick back, and Carolina's transition, the outlet pass, a beautiful pass ahead by May. Look how he sprints the floor, and he's there in case there's a miss. And after Allison Williams told you that Roy Williams challenged his team to play better defensively, they have. And turned that defense into easy points on the other end. We talk about getting easy baskets. You got to do hard things well to get easy baskets.
At stake tonight is a berth in tomorrow night's semifinals. Earlier today, Virginia and Florida State advancing. The Seminoles needed overtime to beat Virginia Tech. Virginia beating State by 20. Carolina up by 15 right now, and it's the Orange and the Blue Devils. Like this game, it'll be the rubber match, if you will, of the season series. And like this matchup, each team won on the road. Syracuse won at Cameron. Duke won in the Carrier Dome. But again, not again, first time we've mentioned it, worth mentioning that Duke was not at full strength in either one of those games. Cam Reddish didn't play in the first game. Trey Jones got hurt early. And then Zion Williamson didn't play in the second game.
A little flex action right now for Louisville. Great read by Kobe White.
It's by Perry, and it'll be a goaltending call.
Boy, North Carolina's really responded. Much better defense. Just simple flex action. That means there's a low screen and then a down screen for the screener. Almost got that one, but a good call.
White now with 17 points to go with 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and only 1 turnover.
Boy, what a job North Carolina's done on Jordan Nwora, the leading scorer for this Louisville team. And you're not going to beat Carolina unless Nwora has a good game. And he has not had one offensively, at least.
McMahon the kick. Sutton misses the 3, and Enoch called for another foul, trying to get an offensive rebound. That's his 4th.
This little push in the back on Luke May. And now Luke May is going to walk 90 feet to the other end and be able to shoot a couple free throws.
Looking forward to the second game, Jay, between Duke and Syracuse. What do you think, and this is speculative, but what do you think is realistic in terms of stamina for Zion Williamson, having not played in a game situation in about 3 weeks?
I think he'll be fine. I have no concerns at all. They're not putting him back out on the floor unless he's 100%, and he is. And he's had another tip back out. North Carolina does that as well as anybody. You've got to be alert when there's a missed free throw. North Carolina likes to tap it back. And you can, Louisville, if they're alert, they can turn that into their own offense. But Carolina able to grab that, and just another screening foul on Brandon Robinson. And Carolina, what, they had 5 fouls called on just simple screen set.
We've had a lot of offense, a lot of screening fouls in this game. We're right back to the opening minutes both ways.
There have been a lot of whistles on screens and on offensive fouls and all that stuff. Enoch could have posted up and really buried Luke May in there, but really didn't give it what he needed to. Now he's got Robinson. He needs to post up Robinson.
Cunningham, no. And the rebound down to Carolina.
I think Enoch was worried about picking up another foul.
A block there for Sutton on the drive by Williams.
Got some arm.
Ryan McMahon still looking for his first bucket of the night. Finds Enoch, who left it a little bit short. And did Enoch push Robinson out of bounds?
I think he did. And I think Enoch got hit first. That might have been some frustration because Enoch got hit when he was going up. Didn't get called.
And that's the end of his night.
Enoch had a good night. When I watch, he got hit there going up, and then he just a little bit of contact on Brandon Robinson. Now Robinson goes to the free throw line. You can feel that sort of the Louisville energy has waned after that last run by North Carolina. It felt like a significant blow. With 5 minutes to go, you don't want to say knockout blow because it's not, but it's significant.
Robinson 1 of 2. Louisville, a team that even if they go on to lose this game, is safely in the field. They've got some good wins. They've got a very difficult strength of schedule. 10-8 in the what many people think is the toughest league in the country, the ACC. As we take a look at their resume, they're net a very solid 21st, and Dr. Lenardi has them as a 7 seed entering this game tonight. I wouldn't think a Nutri-Port loss to Carolina would hurt them all that much.
No, and you hope. Louisville fans hope they stay at that 7 seed instead of dropping to an 8, because if you're an 8-9, you have to play the 1 seed in the second round. So you'd rather be a 7 or a 10 than an 8 or a 9.
Carolina in the running for a 1 or at worst a 2, you would think. Virginia, I would think, is locked as a 1. Duke right now Joey Brackett's 2 line, but obviously they could get back on the 1. We got 3 of the best teams in the country here.
How did that count? That foul was called at the free throw line. Well, I'll tell you what, this has been interesting. Listen to the whistle. Are you kidding? Like, that's an NBA continuation. He did not start. There's no way. I mean, that's a horrifyingly bad call. Heck of a shot, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, for Ryan,
got to give him a ton of credit for the shot.
He just made the toughest shot he's attempted all night.
It's not his fault they gave it to him. It's the official's fault. That was really bad. Wow, man.
15-point game, less than 4 minutes to go. Carolina seemingly on its way to joining Virginia and Florida State in the semifinals, and it'll be either Syracuse or Duke. The next game we've got for you tonight.
Carolina spreading things out. They're not really milking the clock, but they're not averse to using it. Good shot, man.
Everything but the finish for Cam Johnson, and a timeout on the floor with 3:36 to go. The Tar Heels that far away from advancing to the semis for the ACC tournament in Charlotte. A great triple header Saturday night, Champ Week here on ESPN. We'll have the ACC Tournament Championship for you from Charlotte. Look at the current 1s and 2s. According to Joey Brackett's, Virginia, Gonzaga, even after the stunning loss to St. Mary's. Kentucky a 1 right now, and Carolina with Mr. Lunardi having Duke as the top 2, and then Michigan State, Tennessee, and LSU. So 3 SEC teams showing up amongst the top 8 in addition to the 3 ACC teams.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the committee does with Kentucky and Duke. You know, if Duke is able to win tomorrow night, they win tonight with Zion Williamson back. You know, how does that affect their 1 seed versus Kentucky, which, remember earlier in the year, Duke ran Kentucky out of the building, and how all that stuff's going to get processed. So good job by Kobe White. He's sick. People forget he's 6'5", and Kobe White's had a really good game. 17 points, 7 rebounds, all in defensive end, 6 assists, 1 steal, and only 1 turnover.
Jake, can you envision a scenario where the ACC has 3 number 1 seeds?
I think that's where I would fall right now. Now, obviously, you'd have to wait and see what happens in the SEC tournament. But I can't imagine, giving a 1 seed to LSU over any of Duke or Carolina, either Duke or Carolina. I just don't see that. But, look, maybe it's hard for the committee to give, 3 number 1s to 1 conference. I know they've done it before, but might not want to.
Only happened twice before, 2005 ACC, 2009 Big East.
Big East, it was Pitt, Louisville. Was it Villanova also? Might have been UConn.
I think it was UConn.
And then Villanova was the one that went to the Final Four that year. That was the year North Carolina won it with Tyler Hansbrough and Ty Lawson, Wayne Ellington.
Under 2 minutes to go, and the lead is 12 for Carolina.
Well, North Carolina, remember Allison Williams told us out of the huddle that Roy Williams really got into his team on their defense, and boy, the Tar Heels defense really responded after that. Did an excellent job of really shutting things down, and Louisville couldn't score. I mean, to hold Louisville to 67 points is pretty good in this pace of a game.
Sports Center tonight after Oregon, Utah with Stan Barrett and Zubin Mehenti. They'll take you inside Zion Williamson's return, which we will see shortly here in Charlotte. Key plays from conference tournaments. Zach Levine and Lowry Markkinen will judge our Sports Center Slam Dunk Contest. Sports Center at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time after Oregon, Utah here on ESPN and also on the ESPN app.
So Markkinen and Levine, who's dunking while they judge it? Is it our Sports Center anchors? Or?
I don't think Zubin Mehenti has the lift to make a dunk contest.
Zubin has hops, arguably.
Cunningham the kick. Sutton gives it up.
I've been really impressed with the year that Kristen Cunningham has had. Well, Kenny Williams got hit again.
Yeah.
Hope he's all right. Look, he took one in the chops.
Yeah, looked totally inadvertent just on when he went up to get the rebound. And Malik Williams was called for the foul.
Was up with 2 hands, just looked like he caught a finger in the eye from Malik Williams reaching for that ball.
And Williams will come out with just 1:11 to go. Roy Williams will take a timeout. Banged up his shoulder earlier. Now looks like he got poked in the eye.
North Carolina has been excellent in transition. In the second half, the sideline advance ball never really hit the floor. And Kobe White with his head up in transition, not going 1,000 miles an hour, but when he needs to put on that burst, he does. The rebound, immediate outlet. And Playtech with a terrific pass into Luke May. And the North Carolina big guys run the floor. The pass ahead, beautiful pass by Brandon Robinson to Kenny Williams. That's North Carolina basketball.
Waiting patiently, both the Syracuse Orange and on your screen right now, the Duke Blue Devils. And right in the middle, you can see Zion Williamson is ready to make his return. He played in one of the games against Syracuse. He played in the first one down at Cameron, the one that Syracuse won. But Williamson had an enormous game against the Orange, 35 and 10. He was the guy in the middle of the zone a lot in that game. In the game at the Carrier Dome, he didn't play, and R.J. Barrett was the guy making plays in the middle of the zone. So Mike Krzyzewski has a couple of options for who he wants to put at the foul line in the middle of that 2-3 zone.
Yeah, if he wants to put the #1 pick in the draft in the middle, he can. And if he gets tired of that, he can put the #2 pick in the draft in the middle of the zone. It usually works out pretty well when he does that.
R.J. Barrett, the leading scorer in the ACC. Zion Williamson second, the player of the year in the league, despite missing basically 6 conference games.
Yeah, that's right. 6. It says he missed 5 because he played 30 seconds.
Right, but he basically missed 6.
But basically missed 6. Yeah. That's exactly right.
And actually missed, was it the Florida State game? Missed the second half. Remember, he got poked in the eye. The game that Reddish hit the game-winning shot. Williamson didn't play in the second half of that game. Anthony Williams appears to be okay, but with a 13-point lead and just over a minute to go.
But you can see that left eye clearly was effective. Yeah.
Perry, tough shot. 11-point game, a minute to go.
Perry's done some really good things in this game. 10 points, some good assists. He played really hard. Tremendous speed.
It's a dangerous team, Louisville.
They're a good team.
Yeah. They've had a good year.
Chris Mack and his staff have done a great job with his team. I'm not sure at the beginning of the year if they thought, hey, can we make the NCAA tournament? But after you watched them a while, you knew they could. And took them a while to recover after that catastrophic loss they had to Duke at the KFC Yum Center, a game they should have won. You know, give all credit to Duke for the comeback, but from the Louisville perspective, they fell apart.
Williams long on the 3, made the rebound. And we're into the final 30 seconds. North Carolina is going to advance to the semifinals. And you can hear how that's going over here in Charlotte. A lot of Carolina fans in the house, of course. And many of them will probably be sticking around to root against Duke and for Syracuse in the second game tonight. As the coaches shake hands at the end of the game, Carolina's on to the semis. And we have now filled 3/4 of the semifinals.